New York Post reporter Jenny Taylor and the sheriff of Pinal County, Arizona, Mark Lamb. Thank you both for coming on. Sheriff, to you first. I want to read some of the court documents we just got. It reads in part, quoting here, in this case, the defendant lured a 12-year-old under a bridge where he and his co-defendant remained with her for over 2 hours, took her pants off, tied her up, and killed her, then threw her body into the bayou. I mean, she was 12 years old. And these alleged killers, Sheriff, should not have been here to begin with.
No, they shouldn't have been here, and the death penalty is the appropriate punishment for these guys. That's what we owe to the family. And, you know, Joe Biden and this administration continue to be at fault. They should be taking the blame for a lot of these crimes. Granted, you can't protect everybody from every crime, but you certainly could have protected this family, the family of Lake and Riley, Rachel Moore, and so many other families from these people coming in illegally and not holding them accountable.
Yeah, and Jenny Taylor, to you, speaking of Lake and Riley, Senator Lindsey Graham talked about Lake and Riley, that she's the one who was killed in Athens, Georgia by allegedly an illegal immigrant, and Biden's responsibility for that crime. Watch.
So Joe Biden better hope and pray there's presidential immunity, because when he allowed the killer of Lake and Riley to be released on parole because lack of capacity, I think he's subject not only to lawsuit, but criminal prosecution if there's not presidential immunity.
I mean, we all know, Jenny, the criminal prosecution part is likely, very likely not going to happen, but it's a good point to say these policies led to this.
Absolutely. All of these stories that you're citing and that the sheriff is citing go back to this administration that has been released these individuals into the United States and to vet these individuals. And in the case of the recent murder of Jocelyn Nungary in Houston, you had two individuals not only vetted, released into the country, but also given ankle monitors, both of them. One cut that ankle monitor after the murder, according to ICE documents that we've reviewed. The other individual was actually taken out of the monitoring program because they said, you don't have a criminal history, you came to your check-in, and you're all good. So this is the system that's in place under this administration.
Yeah, I want to go back, if I can, Sheriff, because here's MSNBC on what to call those who cross the border illegally. Watch.
What is the difference between an illegal immigrant who unfortunately engages in that activity?
And we don't like that. I want to be clear. We don't use the term illegal. So undocumented individuals.
They're illegal aliens. Undocumented individuals.
I mean, they go through this, Sheriff, but we know federal law states it very clearly. These are illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, not undocumented. That's the law.
They're too busy playing word games, Trace. And the reality, they wouldn't like me on their show. And good thing nobody watches MSNBC to see that. But these are illegal aliens. They broke the law to come into this country. That is the appropriate term for them. And we need not try to candy coat this for the American people. We have a real problem here where people are being affected. That's part of the reason I'm running for the U.S. Senate, Trace, because I can't stand what's going on. These issues have to be tackled at the federal level, and we need people with courage that will speak truth. You know, Jordan Peterson says you got to have faith in the redeeming power of truth, and that's what we need in this country again, and they're illegal aliens.
And lastly, I want to play a CNN analyst being schooled by a CNN anchor. Watch.
Listen, I mean, you can worry about it, the rhetoric, or you can worry about the murders, the rapes, the kidnappings that we've seen in a lot of these different stories. This is a big part of their campaign.
It's dehumanizing rhetoric, Scott.
Would you say it is more or less dehumanizing than murdering and raping someone?
Well,
it's not dehumanizing. It is factual that these people are doing these things. Your final thoughts, Jenny?
Yes, the fact that these people came here illegally is a key element in all of these stories and a thread that ties them all together. And it's something that some of the victims' families have spoken out against, including the family and the father of the 13-year-old who was raped allegedly by a Nicaraguan migrant who was released into this country and was ordered removed from this country and did not comply with that.
Yeah, we do these things all too often. Jenny Taylor, Sheriff Lamb, thank you both for coming on. We appreciate it.